world ravaged by an unseen plague, where the sky hangs heavy with ash and the silence is broken only by the echoes of past lives. We find a lone survivor named Clara. She wanders through the skeletal remains of a once bustling city, her heart pounding with every shadow that flits across her path. Clara's breath forms clouds in the frigid air as she navigates the crumbling streets littered with relics of a forgotten civilization, abandoned cars, tattered newspapers, and the eerie stillness that envelops everything. The sun, a distant memory, casts a dim light that struggles to pierce the thick smog. One day, while scavenging for supplies in an old grocery store, Clara stumbles upon a peculiar sight. A child, no older than 7, sitting cross-legged on the floor, surrounded by cans of food. His dirty clothes hang loosely on his fragile frame, but it's his eyes that send a chill down Clara's spine, hollow and unblinking, as if they've seen far too much. "Are you lost?" Clara asks, her voice trembling as she approaches him cautiously. The boy tilts his head, a faint smile creeping across his lips. "I'm waiting for her," he whispers, his gaze fixed on a spot behind Clara. She turns, but there's nothing there, just the shadows of the darkened aisles. "Who are you waiting for?" Clara presses, her curiosity piqued despite the gnawing dread in her stomach. "The lady in the red dress," he replies, his voice a haunting melody that echoes in the empty store. "Have you seen her?" Clara asks, a mixture of hope and fear bubbling within her. "Sometimes," the boy murmurs. "When the sun sets, she comes to play." A shiver runs down Clara's spine. The sun hasn't shone in weeks. The world has been trapped in twilight. "Where did you come from?" she questions, her instincts screaming at her to leave. But the boy just smiles wider, revealing teeth that are too sharp and too white. "From the place where the light never fades." Clara's heart races as she steps back, suddenly aware of how vulnerable she is. "You should come with me. It's not safe here." The boy's smile falters for a moment, and a flicker of something dark crosses his face. "But I can't leave. She'll get mad." "Who?" Clara asks, panic rising in her throat. "The lady," he whispers, his tone dropping to a conspiratorial hush. "She likes to play games." Before Clara can respond, the sound of shuffling feet echoes from the back of the store. Clara's instincts kick in, and she bolts for the exit, the boy's laughter ringing in her ears like a death knell. Outside, the air is thick with tension, and the shadows seem to stretch and writhe as she runs. Clara glances over her shoulder, half expecting to see the boy in pursuit, but he remains inside, still waiting. That night, as Clara hides in the ruins of a nearby building, she can't shake the boy's haunting words. Is the lady in the red dress real? And if so, what does she want? As darkness envelops her, Clara hears a soft melody drifting through the air, a lullaby, sweet and sorrowful. It pulls at her heartstrings, making her feel both comforted and terrified. She knows she must find answers, and against her better judgment, she ventures back to the grocery store. When she arrives, the store sits silent, the shelves empty, and the air thick with anticipation. As she steps inside, the melody grows louder, echoing through the aisles. Suddenly, Clara spots a flash of red out of the corner of her eye, a figure flitting between the shadows. "Who's there?" she calls, her voice shaky. The figure emerges, revealing a woman in a flowing red dress, her face obscured by a veil. "Welcome back, Clara," she whispers, her voice smooth like silk, yet laced with malice. "Where's the boy?" Clara demands, her heart racing. "He's with me now," the lady replies, her smile widening as she steps closer. "He's playing a new game. Would you like to join us?" Clara's blood runs cold as the world around her begins to spin. The shadows seem to come alive, swirling around her, and the lullaby morphs into a cacophony of laughter and cries. In that moment, Clara realizes the truth. Survival is the most dangerous game of all, and the stakes are higher than she ever imagined.